My name is Claire Krummenacher, and I'm in the class of 2020. I would get in trouble in school for reading my book underneath my desk or during class when we were supposed to be doing other things and I got bored. Playing outside was a huge part of my childhood. We have a creek that runs through the back of our house. My sisters and I and all the kids in our neighborhood would run home, drop our backpacks, and then go straight into the creek. We created this society where we all built houses and we used broken glass as currency, and we each had jobs. There's never a time in my childhood when I don't remember having my sisters around. My best friend would be my sister Kate. She's always been like a really important source of support in my life. Even though I'm technically the oldest sister, I still turn to her. I'm from a city called St. Louis, Missouri, and it's technically rated as the most dangerous city to live in the United States, but I've never felt that way. And part of it is where I was privileged to grow up, but I feel like it's pretty underrated at times. We have a really big immigrant population and the largest community of Bosnians living outside of Bosnia, I believe. I went on my first backpacking trip for real when I was 13. Everything that could possibly go wrong actually did go wrong. It was in Minnesota, and it rained for all 3 days. Someone got injured. Someone lost a series of tent poles, and so we couldn't set up the tents. After that, I saved the money from 3 years of babysitting jobs and camp counseling to go to Washington to climb Mount Rainier. Probably the defining experience of my life. Words can't even describe how beautiful it is, and how one of the best feelings in the world was when we would stand there on the mountain and you'd look around you and there wouldn't be any other people, and you would the only sound that you could hear. But there was a moment where my crampons, which are these metal things that you strap onto your feet for the ice, slipped on it, and I was like, okay, and I was just sort of standing there on the plank, going back and forth, if I fall, no one can catch me. You're surrounded by your team and you're roped in, but you're living entirely in your own head. It's it's only you that can get yourself up and down. I really like this quote by Cheryl Strayed. She hiked the Pacific Coast Trail by herself. You don't reach the mountaintop by starting at the bottom. You have to work to get there. Blood is involved. It's kind of the things that are really difficult in life are often the things that are really worth doing. I'd really like to climb Mount Blanc, or go take some time after college to go and just climb mountains for a little bit. Green for sure. The green of maple leaves right when they come in spring. It has a lot of energy and blends well with a lot of things. So maybe I'm trying to be like that color. Oh man, food has always been a really big part of my family because it represents home to me in a lot of ways. My family would cook together, and my uncle and my dad, they would get in these cooking battles between the two of them, where each of them would insist that their method was the way, and so dinner would just get delayed and delayed and delayed while the two of them would try and figure it out. Cooking is something that we can always get along with, and it's sort of what keeps us together. My dad used to make this kind of chicken. It's just straight up chicken with breadcrumbs, but somehow it's so good, and everyone that comes to our house calls it Mr. Keith's chicken. When I tell people from outside of St. Louis, or they find out, because I try not to tell them, that I graduated my high school in a wedding dress, they think I'm joking. They think it's some sort of practical joke. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school and then celebrated 4 years of becoming strong, independent women ready to take on the world by doing a fertility dance around a maypole. I found the whole tradition to be quite strange, bordering on patriarchal. The expectation is that you're going to go out and have good Catholic babies and build up God's kingdom. And that's all tongue-in-cheek. I don't actually believe any of that.